Welcome in to Chasing Chips podcast. Thank y'all for coming in. We appreciate it. This is myself, Charles, and I'm here with Josh. As you guys that are not watching the show right now, you're listening. Josh had a great weekend. As you can see, if you're watching, you see the big old trophy behind his head. What happened? How did y'all get that trophy? That thing is immaculate, man. That is huge. That's a big.
Yeah, we got to play kickball in a rec league. It's fun. You think like, oh, kickball. Like, I haven't played that shit since grade school. Same, but there's this league that's been going on for like 20 years now at the park that's in St. Louis where I live, and we got some legacy teams in there that have been playing for like 15 years, and these are guys that like guys and girls is co-ed, and they've been taking this shit seriously. And we came in there, we lost last season. We came back this season and got first place. We were down 2-0 we're down 2-0 in the ninth or in the last inning and 2 outs. And then one of my buddies kicked the ball, got a home run, scored 3, and then had to stop him the other half portion of the last inning. And it was incredible. Like, we were down. We thought we were gonna lose, and it was just fun, And it's just like, yeah, it's fucking stupid, playful, but it's fun to get in like rec leagues. I'm in a bunch. Like, I play volleyball, I play kickball, I play basketball, and I'm gonna do that shit until I can't move anymore. Those are the things that I love doing. Maybe it's just like a Midwest thing or what, but playing in rec leagues is fun. It's competitive, but it's also like not too competitive to where like people are getting hurt and shit. It's like a beer league, So
No,
it's fun.
that's dope. That's dope,
Yeah.
man. It's congratulations once again. I'm trying to be on that wave right now. I feel like I got to step away from like all these like under 30-year-old rec league basketball leagues because they play with this different type of way where they don't care if they get injured. So
Yeah, can't be
right
doing
so right now I'm just like, all right, let's figure this out. And kickball might be up. I have to start Googling, see if LA has some kickball leagues or
yeah,
volleyball league. But all the volleyball leagues out here probably are all on the beach, which ain't driving
yeah.
all the way to Santa Monica and all that stuff. But man, congratulations, man. That's dope. Don't call it stupid either. A championship is a championship. I don't care what
Well,
nobody
hey,
say.
you know
It's
what?
it's a
It's nice to
chip is a
beat
chip.
some of the teams that are taking it a little too seriously,
Oh,
and
then that's
they
the
were
number
like
four.
exploiting the rules and stuff like that. And it was fun to beat them. And also, once I move back to LA, I'll make sure we get in some leagues for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause
for
that's what I
sure,
do.
for
I
sure.
love playing in rec leagues. It's
Yeah,
just fun.
man. That's dope, dog, because winning is winning. And then you guys
Yeah,
had like a story big win, you know what I'm saying? Down by 2, the soft music comes in, doom 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 doom
yeah.
doom 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 doom, slow pan.
So no, it went to the outfield, and then the guy like fell. He fell down,
Oh,
and then we were like, go, 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 and then it was just wild. It was
even
crazy.
more so. Right there,
Yeah,
he's leaning back. Everybody thinks he's
yeah,
about to catch it, and then he falls, and it's like slow motion, and it shows y'all
yeah.
faces like,
Everyone was so pumped. Everyone was so pumped. It was wild. So it was a good
yeah,
time.
man.
It was a good time.
Oh man, you know what else is pumped about everything? Miami. Miami is having a great time. They're enjoying themselves these past few days. Miami's a place that people always enjoy themselves. Let's not get into the political side of Florida, but I know they're loving. They won game 2. They're coming back for game 3. Uh, what is their chances of winning game 3? Do you think they can continue this momentum into game 3 and win it, or will Nuggets make some adjustments?
Well, I don't really have much hope for Michael Malone making adjustments, to be honest. I think he's like not that great of a coach, but
Mhm.
I think they are getting out coached right now. Derek Spoelstra is hands down a better coach than them. But, I think
Sure.
the Nuggets are the better team overall. I think they're a little bit better balanced. That said, I think it's going to be close. I think the X factor remains to be Michael Porter Jr. in my mind for the Nuggets.
Mhm.
And he's been playing like shit. He's been playing like shit the past 2 games, especially last game, going 2 for 8, 1 of 6 from 3. They're going to need better from him. He was a neg 15 for plus minus. So Aaron Gordon's been playing great. Jokic's been playing great. Jamal Murray's going to continue to play well. It's about an MPJ. They need another scorer. They need scoring relief in order to win. So if MPJ continues to play this awful, I think they might not win another game, in my opinion. But the Heat, The Heat just have better shooters. We've talked about this. Like the
Yeah, they
Heat
do.
just have better overall shooters in their Rolodex. Like they have at least like solid like 6 players that can shoot the ball above average, and that are
Mhm.
currently hot right now. It's one thing about, if you want to track the whole season and compare them to great shooters for the season, that's not what I'm talking about. Talk about right now in the playoffs, they're hot. You got players like Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson. These are all shooters that are confident. And I don't know if it's the Heat culture or what, but they're just like shooting in a very like consistent, confident manner, and that's dangerous. So if I was a Nuggets fan right now, I'd be a little worried. But the Nuggets it's still their series to lose, in my opinion.
Mm. And I'm right there with you. The Nuggets fans should be worried. I mean, the Miami Heat are playing at a level right now where they're just carefree, and it's one of the things that I can see going through game two. Like you can see, like all right, they're carefree. The other guys, like you said, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, doing a mean mug. Caleb Martin hasn't showed up the first 2 games, but he did his damage the round before.
Right.
So
He's
we
still
all
got an
know
opportunity to get
he
hot,
can
in the
show up.
sense of like he can
Yeah,
show
yeah.
up later on.
He can show up, right. And I believe that with that coming, Jimmy Butler is gonna pick his spots. It's just something about Jimmy where he just leads his team in a perfect way when they know he's gonna knock down a shot they need. When they need a bucket, he'll knock it down. Everybody always has this thing like, oh, Jimmy's not playing hard, or he takes time, or he's not scoring 30, 40 points. He don't need to do that. The bucket that needs to be made, he makes it. And he's guarding Jamal Murray on the other end, which is very, very important because you can let Jokic go crazy, but if you take Jamal off of his rhythm, it makes the Nuggets a really tough team. So you're giving MPJ more shots, and this guy's going to shoot every shot. No shot is a bad shot to MPJ, which I think is his problem because he feels like he can just shoot everything and
Yeah.
anything, which is terrible. It's just
And
not good. And that's why I've
the thing
always
about
not
Butler,
been a fan of MPJ. But the
it's
thing
not going to
about
show up on
Miami
the stat
is
line,
that
I
their
feel like.
defense is getting better. The defense,
Right.
the perimeter defense is doing a better job on stopping the other guys. And that's the difference I feel like. The other guys on the Nuggets are not scorers like the other guys on the Miami Heat. And that's what happens when Jokic doesn't get everybody in rhythm with passing. So keeping Jokic under 5 assists is the best thing for Miami to do. And I
Yeah.
think Miami has a chance. I think they really do have a chance of winning this next game. And if they can take both at home, I think they win the series.
Yeah, I mean, I think they cut the big, mean giant. I think they found a opportunity to pounce on the Goliath, and that's basically Denver at home.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's been able to beat Denver at home, right? This whole
Nope.
playoffs, and it's relatively been a hard thing throughout the franchise history, is to beat the Nuggets at home due to the altitude. So
And
they
see,
won one, they still won, and right now the momentum's on the Heat side. And Jimmy Butler, to my point earlier, Jimmy Butler, he's not always going to put up like major stats, but he gets those hustle points, he gets those aggressive like plays, and that require just like a little bit more energy, and he's that grit kind of like dog mentality type of player, like he'll get those hustle plays. So then you can rely on your shooters. That's the thing that I'm starting to realize is that Nuggets are sound, but as far as their depth goes, I wouldn't say that they are
offense.
really, it's like their depth is showing up this series at least.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
like MPJ, uh, is gonna be hot and cold. It seems KCP has been kind of bad, and honestly, their defensive discipline has been a little rough too. But like as far as offensive threats, like we're not leaning on Christian Brown. We're not leaning on Jeff Green. We're not leaning on Bruce Brown for offensive points. Aaron Gordon himself has actually been playing pretty well this series, but he tends to not be an offensive threat. So like they really only
Yeah.
have like 3 players that can like stand out and give you 15, in my opinion. Like that's Jamal 15 plus. I mean Jamal Murray, Jokic, and MPJ. Like those are the
Yeah.
players that like are going to score. But you look at on the Heat and they have players that can get hot, that can give you 15 plus, um, in different games. Like Duncan Robinson could get hot, Caleb Martin can get hot, Gabe Vincent can get hot, Max Strus, Bam can get you 15, Jimmy Butler can get you 15, and that's not even counting like players like Kyle Lowry or obviously Jimmy or Kevin Love, or I mean, just like they have players that have the ability to get you 15. I look on the Nuggets, and I'm not counting on Bruce Brown giving me 15. I'm not counting on Christian Brown giving me 15. I'm not counting on Aaron Gordon giving me 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that they have more offensive opportunity on the Heat side, as opposed to, like, what you're getting from an offensive standpoint with the Nuggets, like Jokic and MPJ and Jamal Murray. That's where your offense comes from.
Mm-hmm. And man, they made the adjustment of making Kevin Love guard Aaron Gordon off the top of the game, and that's after the beginning of the game. And I think the Nuggets are a lot about rhythm, and it's about Jokic setting that rhythm with the passing. And when you take that away, it's very difficult for the other guys to catch that rhythm at the beginning of the game. And like you said, the altitude thing, I agree with Charles Barkley. I don't think it's a thing, and a lot of players are playing about it. But this is the first time the Nuggets have been in the championship. This is the first time they've been this. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really it's
That's true.
effective, but it's not like
I'm saying,
oh
like, for that
effective
first
where it
game,
helps win games. It
you
doesn't
play
help
a
them
game
win games.
seven, you play
It
seven
doesn't.
games in a series, the series before, and then you go and to a well rested Nuggets team,
Yeah,
and you go play an altitude, like, that's gonna be tough. Now, but they've
but
proven that
in
they're
that
beatable.
game though, in game one though, they that fourth quarter, I feel like they found something in that fourth quarter game one. They're like, oh, this is how we can play the next game, and that's how they came out, and they played that way and weren't behind by 20 points because they cut it down to 10 playing that way. So they're like, okay, if we Spoelstra was like, if we play this way from the beginning and we're in the game at the end, you saw that they were down by 8,
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to just. I'm sorry. Jeez, jeez.
And I'll speak on the X factor for the Heat, honestly. And this is my opinion here, is that I think so. We've established that the X factor is MPJ for Denver, right? In my opinion, the X factor for the Heat is going to be Bam. The way that
Bam had
he
a great
was
game.
charging the basket, that's what I wanted to see out of Da. To be honest, like, I want to see Da
Never,
take charge,
never gonna
and
happen.
I would put Bam and Da in a similar, like, vein, right? In a similar category. I think they're
Now,
both athletic bigs. I think, as far as capability goes,
Da
like,
is not as athletic as Bam is. There's no,
I don't know.
no.
I'd say, okay. I'd say from a driving and dunking standpoint, Bam is better. But
Yes.
from a shooting standpoint, Da is better, hands down,
Oh yeah.
100%. So I think they're comparable. They're both athletic bigs, and they have the capability to get big and be elusive and stuff. Now, Bam is better than him at driving to the basket and like shoring up a dunk. Like, if you're
And playing
going in
defense
hard, if you're driving hard, then and Bam
and playing
has been,
defense.
like, he scored what 21 points last game. He's been playing really well. So I think if Bam's playing really well for the Heat, I think that they're going to be difficult for the Nuggets
Difficult,
to beat in the series.
very difficult. And one of the things that we've been talking about a lot is your son's team. We've been going back and forth about that. We've been watching the finals, but like, okay, I believe the Suns make a few changes, they can be here. Do I think they're better than the Clippers? Fully healthy? No. And I'm gonna stand on that.
Yeah, well, that's the asterisk, though. Is fully healthy. When does that ever happen?
but but you guys got Frank Vogel, which I thought was a good hire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, great
Really
hire.
good hire, solid coach. The Lakers didn't give him a chance after having a terrible roster that he didn't want, and they
Right.
cut ties with him. I think Frank is a good coach. He's coached PG to multiple Eastern Conference, championships. I mean, Eastern Conference finals. They didn't
Yep.
win. But and then in LA, he won a chip. So he has a chip
The
mentality. He's
Magic
going to be
is playing
respected.
well.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's a great pickup for multitude of reasons. Is one, defensive emphasis. I think that Frank Vogel is going to focus heavily on our defense, which is great because, like, our offense, we already are almost there. Like, we'll have to obviously add depth pieces, and
yes,
we'll have to fill the gaps. But
for sure.
offensively, like, we're better set up than we are defensively. So it'd be great to have a head coach that focuses on defense. And then also, we haven't lost our offensive mastermind in Kevin Young. And I think Kevin Young is really underrated when it comes to coaching. And I really thought that we were going to lose him, but turns out we signed him for one of the highest paid assistant head coaches in the league. And I'm glad to have Kevin Young on there because he's a player's coach and he's a great offensive mind. And then we also added David Fizdale. So I think we have a pretty solid coaching staff now. And I see the vision. I see where we're going here. Now it's all about filling the gaps. I think we got to trade DA for some depth, and we got to consider doing something with Chris Paul, whether he's taking a pay cut, which you don't think is going to happen, or trading him for some pieces as well.
I don't know why you feel like.
Well, okay, you could say that because you have a feeling about Chris Paul, but this is my plea to Chris Paul. It's like, do you want a championship?
Why would you take a pay
My
cut?
plea to Chris Paul: do you want a championship or not? Like, do you
Why
want
would
a
you take
championship?
a-
If we're paying you $30 million, if we're paying Chris Paul $30 million
And I'm
next
taking
year,
$30 million.
then guess what? He's never going to win a championship ever. Like,
then you ain't getting one then.
what?
I'm sorry, you ain't getting a championship then.
Okay, well then that's fine. If Chris Paul doesn't want to win a championship, then that's fine. Like if then he'll get his $30 million and then he'll retire and then he'll probably still go to the Hall of Fame, but then he'll never have won a championship. But now, there's no path to Chris Paul winning a championship, getting paid $30 million. There's no path. There's no way that any team pays Chris Paul that much and wins a championship. It's not going to happen.
I think you need to stop pocket watching. Stop pocket watching. He got $30 million coming to him. Let him have the money. He earned that money. It's
not pocket. It's not pocket watching. Whatever the fuck that means. It's math. It's basic math. Like if we are paying Chris Paul $30 million to get hurt in the playoffs, then we are not paying other players to fill the void of depth. So it's not about pocket watching. It's about saying, hey, you're taking a lot of the pie right here, and we need to fill in that salary cap with depth pieces. And the more we pay Chris Paul to get hurt in the playoffs, the less we have to give to other players to fill that depth. So it's just like either Chris Paul takes a pay cut and he stays on the Suns, or we ship him for other players, and then that's our path to the championship.
And that's one of those. It's not going to happen. You're not going to ship him. Nobody, for one, like you said, nobody wants to pay that much. But two, there's no way the GMs are telling him, "Hey, you need to take a pay cut because you're going to get hurt in the playoffs." He doesn't plan on getting hurt in the playoffs. Yes, it happens, but he doesn't plan on that.
Come on, dude! It's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. I think we all at this point know that Chris Paul is going to get hurt in the playoffs.
There's other ways. Let me get my point out. You can't just keep going back and forth.
All right, go. I know you're a Chris Paul stan. Go ahead.
I am, but I'm about money. I'm about the bag. You sign him to that contract. If they can figure out a way to break it up, they can give him, $20 million this year. Take a $10 million next year if he retires. They keep paying him after he retires. Sure, just spread the money around.
I'm fine with it.
There's no way I would take a pay cut. There's no way.
That's what I'm saying. Whether we break it down or whatever, however way we do it, him getting paid $30 million next year on the Suns is not a recipe for a championship caliber team. And that's it. No matter how we do it, we either trade him or we have to break it up or whatever. But I do know that only half of his contract is guaranteed, So I would not like to release him and then break that off. I would not like to trade him for nothing. I do think some teams would be interested. I do, but
I don't.
It's either way. Either way, we have to explore ways to better utilize our salary cap. And paying Chris Paul $30 million is not the answer to a championship caliber team. It's just not. So it's like, okay, if Chris doesn't want to win a championship, then it's fine. We'll continue to pay him $30 million, and then we won't trade him, and then he'll get hurt in the second round, and then we'll be back to square one.
All right. If that's what you want, if you want to talk about a cup being half empty with Chris Paul, then go right ahead, brother. That's what it is. He's going to get injured because that's what you think is going to happen. That's what's going to happen. But if you are going to pay $30 million, you right now sign a contract, $30 million. How much of a pay cut are you actually taking? Suns came to you. You're Chris Paul, and they said, "Hey, no, you're not. I'm just Josh. We're already giving you $30 million, but we want to help the team.
20.
How much of you're taking $10 million off?
Because if you think about it, $10 million gets you a solid player, like off the bench. Like 10 mil gets you a solid player. You can find a lot of players for 10 mil out there. Kuzma's getting paid like 13 right now. You
Hey,
know, so it's
Josh.
just like I'm
Okay, wait. Let's make this more personal. Josh, your salary right now, you're working a job. Hey, Josh, we want to bring in a guy to help out the company. What happens if we take 10K off of your check, your salary to pay somebody
there's
else?
a
Would you do it? Would
there's
you
a
do it?
difference. There's a big
What's the
difference with
difference?
that analogy or
Would you
whatever the
do it?
hell that was. So
Well,
it
would you do that?
one is like
Now,
I don't work for a championship. I work for tenure. I work for just a consistent paycheck. So it's a little different for me. But if I was in sports, right, and I was 40 years old and I was near the tail end of my career, and the only thing that I was missing from my credentials or from my resume was a championship, the thing that every player seeks to win in this league. That's the whole reason why everyone's here. And if I have a chance to win a championship, and what I have to do in order to win that championship is take a 40-30% pay cut, then I'm willing to consider it. You know, so many players have done this before in the past. So many players have
what
taken
player?
less.
What
What
player? What player?
didn't like during the LeBron Wade Bosch era, wasn't there players that took pay cuts in order to win a championship? It was all this
Wade and
big
Bosch.
three stuff.
They all signed. Wade and Bosch signed the same contract,
I know, but
and
haven't
and they took like 2 million of a difference from
big
LeBron.
fours in the past, haven't players taken pay cuts in order to win a championship?
Not players like Chris Paul, not that caliber of a player.
Okay,
But
first
then
of
I
all,
just
that's the problem. That's the problem is that you're speaking of Chris Paul as if he is a good caliber player right now. Chris Paul is not only a liability when it comes to injury, he's a liability on the court now. So like
so
even when he's healthy, the man cannot play defense anymore. He's small and he's frail. So like
mhm.
yes, he's solid. Yes, he's a solid point guard, but even a healthy Chris Paul is not even in the
Let me
top
talk
10 of point guards in the league anymore.
okay, we'll give. Mm,
I
I
mean,
don't know about
come
that.
on. Come on.
I'm not. We're not gonna go through that list right now.
Come on.
But that's the thing I'm saying. There's two things. There's one thing. This is where we we are from the same way, but we're different. There's two things these NBA players want: a championship and generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way. There's
Chris Paul
no way.
ain't worried about
No,
money,
no, 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 no,
bro.
no, 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 no. I'll tell you right now, Dame is the main person that talks about it all the time. Dame Lillard. Everybody talks about if he's
You
chasing
think Chris Paul's
championships.
worried about money?
Everybody's always worried about money. You're talking about telling him to get a $10 million pay cut.
Dude,
Why would you ever? I would not ask him to do $10,000 off of my salary right now. For you know what I'm saying? $10
it's
million
turned into
dollars.
a bad contract.
No,
It's turned into a bad contract.
it is not his fault that the Suns signed him to this contract. They agreed upon this, knowing that over time wins all the time. Father Time is
So,
undefeated. But the Suns signed that contract. The Suns agreed to paying him this much. I understand a championship is something he strives for. But also, money is also a thing he strives for. There's no way I'll give up $10 million for a chip. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Maybe
I
two or
think you're
three,
looking at it
but damn.
a short. I think you're looking at it from a short-term perspective. I think it's
What are you
about
talking short term? What are you
we're
talking
talking about
about?
winning a championship.
Okay, y'all can win a chip. You can add pieces without him taking a pay cut. There are players out there that will take 1 year deals. You know what I'm saying? He 1 year deals. There's definitely players out there that take 1 year deals. There's no way. I'm telling you, he's not getting traded. He's not taking a pay cut. What I'm trying to just make you realize what's happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. You think that's and I'm saying this because I don't feel like that's the success. That's what y'all need to win the championship. Chris Paul to get a pay cut is what y'all need to sign more players. That's not it. You paying
I'm
those
telling
three.
you, like we're not winning a championship paying Chris Paul 30 mil next year. I'm just telling you right now. So it's either we gotta trade him or we gotta
Here.
figure out something. We gotta figure out some sort of strategic method on how we go about
That is
distributing
James
or
Jones's
like
job. He's
handling
supposed
that
to figure
salary.
that out.
It's not James Jones' job. I mean, I guess it is James Jones' job, but it's like
It
it's
is. He
also
signed
like
him to that
there needs to
contract.
be. I get it, but he also made it to where it's only half guaranteed for a reason, right?
But that I know. That's a good thing. That's good. But so
Okay.
Matt, your owner has to make the decision. Is he going to go over the luxury tax? You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way CP3 is taking a pay cut. It's not happening. So he just has to pay the fine. You're just
We're
going to
gonna
have
have
to
to be
pay the fine.
strategic then. We're gonna have to be strategic then, because I'm
You
telling you right
do.
now, paying like we're currently locked up in like nearly 80 to 90% of our salary just amongst Chris Paul, fucking Durant, and Booker right now.
I mean, is that true? What exactly are the numbers? Because I would love to know exactly how much salary space you got left. Who's on the roster
Man, we
right
got
now that's
pennies. I mean, I
guaranteed?
might get signed. I might get signed to a short-term deal with the Suns. That's how fucking. So right now we're paying. Okay, so next year we're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
paying Kevin Durant 47, Devin Booker
Right.
36, DeAndre Ayton
Mm.
32, and Chris Paul 30, and Landry Shamet 10. Cameron Payne 6.5. Everyone else is gone.
So that's the thing. You got to make sure that DA trade is worthwhile. You got to get two guys back that are going to
At
actually
least
help
two.
you.
At least two.
You
I
got
mean,
to get
I
at
honestly,
least
you
two.
talk about Aiden trades. Aiden's gone. Everyone thinking that Aiden's like not
And
gone. He's
we
gone.
don't need to get
He's
we
gone.
don't yeah we don't need to go deep into Aiden. We know he's
I'm,
gone.
I'm,
Nobody
I'm,
wants him
I'm
there anymore.
let me just tell you one
He's
trade that I
gone.
really like. One trade that I really like. I do like getting Dwight Powell, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Josh Green for DA. I love that.
That's a
And
good one. That's a
I'll
good
give you
trade. That's what
Shamit
I
and
like.
DA. Yeah,
That's good.
I do
That's
like that.
good. And you know another trade that's happening that you were just talking about. John Collins once again. John Collins to the Clippers for Marcus Morris and Terrence Mann.
I don't hate
I
that.
take it. I like that.
I don't hate that. John Collins is
I
kind of weird though. I don't know. I don't know if it's like an energy thing or what, but for some reason he loves to shoot the ball and not drive as much as he should. But either way, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about John Collins. I think he's like he should be better than he is, but he's not. I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird, but I take him. He don't need to be, crazy. He needs to show up a few games, block a few shots. I just think we need a very athletic power forward. I think that's what it is. I think the Marcus Morris is that power forward and things like that ain't helping us. We need somebody that's just gonna fly out the gym. We need somebody that's just gonna be ready to dunk. When Zubac doesn't get off, he's not athletic, but he's good as a big. But he needs an athletic power forward match with him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Clippers also just promoted our Trent Reddick to GM because our GM went to the Washington Wizards. So, but other than that, a good question though. I know you saw on the Colin Cowherd show was what is the least loving GM job in the NBA? What is your answer to that?
Least popular GM job in the NBA.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think it's
so
just
basically, if I'm a
the least.
GM, right, and I have the
I
ability
wouldn't.
to choose which franchise I don't want to work for, like which one's the one that I don't like the most, um, I would have to go with probably the Hornets. Honestly, the Hornets, I just have no fucking clue what they're doing, and also like losing Miles Bridges like that, and then due to him like with the domestic violence thing, and then Lamelo kind of being injury prone right now. It seems like he's can't stay healthy. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I don't know what their plans are. They didn't really get what was their place in the lottery? Second.
Yeah, they got second. They're gonna get Brandon Miller. Sorry,
Brandon
Brandon
Miller. Okay,
Miller.
Brandon Miller is not terrible, but like I would. No, I can't. I can't ship Lamelo. See, that's how I'm saying. Like, I don't
You're
know what
tripping.
I don't know what I would do. Like, if I'm them.
He's
Like,
one of the
um,
popular players in the league. There's especially Gen Z love Lamelo, Ja. There's no way you
I'd
can.
say I'd say I'd also consider like Washington as well.
Hold
The
on.
Wizards. Like the
He's gonna take up
Wizards
all
are.
the answers. You gonna take the
Oh,
answers?
okay.
Can I
So you can
go?
go
Can
ahead.
I?
Were you gonna
Can
say
I go?
Wizards? Were you
Can
gonna
I
say?
go?
Yeah.
Yes, I was
Go
gonna say
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
Wizards. My goodness gracious! This is a Josh Chasing Chips podcast. Everybody, welcome featuring Charles. You
Go
gotta
ahead.
just
Go on
take
your
up both
Wizards rant.
questions. Can I get that? Can I get an answer in? Can I?
Sure.
The
Yeah, I
Washington
guess.
Wizards. And the
Okay.
funny thing is, the Hornets were my first choice, but I'm a big Jordan fan. Um,
He
but
gone,
I
right?
would not want to work. But for that reason, I wouldn't want to work for Jordan. Because I feel
I thought
like
he was
working
gone.
for him and it's. He said he's gonna sell. Who knows what's going on, man?
Mm,
Supposedly, but no one's offered because they're trash. You know what I'm saying? They're not good.
yeah.
But the Wizards, the one thing about the Wizards is that they're a big city, and you would think there'd be more of an effort to make the team good, which is really funny to me to pick the Wizards because that's where our GM left to go help. So I'm hoping our GM that has done a good job for us and put our team together goes there and helps that team. It would have been a place I wanted to go, but at that bag, they gave him a promotion, they gave him more responsibility. So I understand the move, and I hope he makes
Right.
that. But uh, I honestly, Wizards wouldn't have been my pick anyway. I think it's still Charlotte. Charlotte, I'm with you on the Charlotte pick. Wizards probably second, but because Wizards is a Washington's a bigger city, I think they can rally behind a team and fix it. They have the money that they can like grow it.
Yeah. I just think that they don't
But
have a solidified star. Like I think Bradley Beal is great, but like I don't think like he is the number
he's a
one,
two.
like on a playoff team.
He's a number two guy on a playoff team. Like they just need
Maybe even a
another.
number three.
They got a good two now. I would say he's a good two. I think he's really. I think they got a good 2 and 3. I think Kuz is a solid 3. I think he is. I think a
Yeah.
third scorer. He's good.
You
He's solid.
trade
I think
if I'm the Wizards, I trade Kristaps and maybe one of your young talents. I just try to go all in for like a big star, you know,
you gotta
like
go.
maybe
And
Denny.
I think they go. If I was them, I go after Lillard.
I
I
go after
mean,
Jalen Brown if I were.
oh,
Oh, but no, I
Jalen
think Bradley
Brown,
Beal and Jalen
Jalen
Brown.
Brown in Washington.
Yeah, but no, Bradley Beal and Jalen Brown. I don't know about that.
That's the same thing. St. Louis. That'd be the same. I don't think that team gets better if Jalen goes there.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny. I was watching a clip on Jalen Brown. Speaking of him, and apparently he can't dribble left. That's pretty wild.
That's not his
Is he
thing.
that bad? Is he really
That's
can't
not his
dribble?
thing. Don't look here. I hate those. I hate anybody can make a mixtape about anything. They
Right.
just collected all his turnovers and put it on that he can't
That's
dribble.
true.
No, he can dribble the ball. Those are
Can he
just
dribble
bad
though?
plays. He can.
Hmm.
I think he can. I think he just doesn't know where he's going with his dribble. I just I tell my son when he's playing, he plays soccer, and I tell him when he's doing PKs or he's doing a move, I'm like, hey bro, you got to understand where you're headed. You can't just take off and not know where you're going, and then you fumble the ball out of bounds or something, or you miss the PK because you're trying to make your mind up why you're about to kick it. You got to
Hmm.
understand where you're going. I think with Jalen, I think he doesn't know where he's going. He
Hmm.
doesn't know what is your end result for this move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Player, you can be the best dribbler in the world, but if you don't know what you're trying to do, like, am I trying to hit this layup? Am I trying to get this? Am I going to hit these 2-3 dribbles to do a step back? Am I going to hit these 2-3 dribbles to get to the rack? Am I going to do these 2-3 dribbles to do a side step three? I'm like, that's why Kyrie is so good because he has so many, moves that go into an end result, which is a shot, a layup, a fadeaway, a three, everything like that. His handles are on a string because he knows how that play is going to end. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? He on some Doctor Strange type stuff. He sees where he's gonna be at after he does these 5 or 4, 5 or 6 dribbles. You know what I'm saying? And I think Jalen, he doesn't know where he's headed while he's doing all his shit. Like he just, and then somebody comes over and double teams and he's flustered. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You just gotta know. You gotta know what you want to do on the court. And I think
That's fair.
sometimes he's just a little confused. You know what I'm saying?
So to close it out, who you got going? Who you got winning in tomorrow's game?
I got Miami.
All right. Same.
And
Honestly, I got
same.
Miami too. I think they're gonna win by 10.
Ooh, 10. I mean, they gotta be up big, and then the Nuggets cut it down to 10. Or you think it just it's a little close the entire game and then gets to 10. I'm sorry, 10 is just
Yeah, I just think that I think Jamal is gonna have a rough game. personally. I think he's due for a bad game. He's been playing really well, and the
Last
old
game was
Jamal I
good.
know, the old Jamal I know is pretty inconsistent. So I expect him to at least go back to his normal form of being a little inconsistent, maybe not as much as he used to be, but I do anticipate one bad game in this series from Jamal Murray. So I would think that it's going to happen next game, and Jokic is going to still be MVP Jokic. MPJ might step it up a little bit, but I think they're what's really going to cause them to lose that game is going to be Jamal's play. Personally, that's
I
just
think
what I
that
believe. I have a hunch. I just have a hunch.
I have a win by 5, and the reason is that Spo makes the better adjustments in the second half. As
Mm-hmm.
simple as that. I think he's like you said. I think he's been the best coach in the playoffs. Period. And he just shows it again in Game 3, where he's just going to be able to make that adjustment at halftime, and they're just going to nicely have a nice little 6 or 7 point lead the entire second half.
Mm-hmm.
Them Nuggets will fight back, but Jimmy will make those big shots down the stretch, and they'll win by a nice little 5 points. I think it's that simple. I think just Spo is just out coaching Malone. Malone can talk
Mm-hmm.
about it all the time. He can beat a speech. He's starting to feel like he's starting to have a little bit of Doc Rivers, with all these like hype speeches. Well, they took one from us, so now we got to go down there and
Michael
take one from
Malone
them.
always trying to be
No duh, bro. No
like
duh. We all know that. We know you got to go down there and take one. If you don't, you lose the series. It is the obvious motivational speech.
yeah.
I get it. They're NBA players. You don't have to tell them that. I'm going to be like, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what y'all have to do when we go down there.
Michael Malone pisses me
But we're
off.
going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to
Oh,
figure
yeah,
out some strategies, and we're going to get right back to it and get this W. That's what you should be telling these NBA players. I'm going to go to the lab and I'll figure out how we can win these next games. Don't tell me we need to win one more down there.
Right.
I know that. You know that. Everybody in the world know that. That ain't going to motivate me.
Right.
I play in the NBA. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm over it. All right. Well, yeah, I think that he go in, and then we'll see though. We'll see. I think the Nuggets are the better team though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up winning.
That's
It's hard to be on. It's hard to be on. So confident with my decision here, but I don't know. I just feel like the Heat got the momentum and the energy going.
They do. They gotta win Game 3 though. They know they gotta win Game 3
For sure.
They can't go back to Miami and lose that thing.
Nope.
Gotta win Game 3 because I think and then we're going on. We're supposed to be ending. I know that, but I just think mentally, MPJ ain't there. I'm sorry. I think if they lose Game 3, he is a wrap. He is done for the series, and that is a wrap for the Nuggets. I've never been a believer. I'm not gonna be a believer. He ain't gonna make me a believer. I just don't.
I think he's got the capacity to be really good. I think he's got the tools to be good, but I don't know what it is with him. I mean, he fucking was playing really well against us, so that was frustrating.
It's that mental.
Yeah.
Mental. And his best friend played with him all through. Trae Young out here deleting stuff off of IG about Atlanta. So look at they in the same boat. That mental. They over here.
Oh, that's what I think Washington should go get is Trae Young. Boom, done.
Trae Young, Bradley Beal, and Kuzma. That's a fun team.
That's fun.
They ain't
All right,
winning nothing.
Let's go. Yeah, they ain't winning shit, but it'd be fun. Yeah.
But all right, chasing chips.
Peace.
To y'all. Enjoy yourselves. Peace and love.